Welcome to Connected Conversations. I am Elena Petrova, founder and CEO of Adastra Inc. Let's share the inspiring stories, strengthen our bonds, and pave the way for a brighter future, one conversation at a time. Welcome to Connected Conversations with Elena Petrova, and we are here in Buenos Aires. Today we are having great podcast with Eugenia Urrere.
Yes.
Did I pronounce it right?
Good, very good.
Well, thank you so much for coming all the way to our studio in Buenos Aires. I know that you've been driving. It's Friday,
Yeah.
Friday traffic here in Buenos Aires. Again, thank you. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I know that you're heavily involved in Indigenous languages community, and you've been doing it for quite a bit. So,
Yes.
tell us about your work.
Well, I am in the indigenous topic since I think that's 7 years now. But since 2020, I am running this LSP that is Indigenius, that is specialized in indigenous and underrepresented languages. I started with the indigenous languages from Latin America, but now I am expanding my offer to different languages in the world, specialized from minority and native languages.
Thank you. And I know that this work is incredibly important today. How many languages do you speak?
No, I only speak Spanish, well, a bit of English. I would love to speak another language, especially a native language. I think I am really passionate about languages because languages are cultures.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I find in this job so many of my passions that are cultures, languages, people. I know. So I really think that languages are doors that open worlds. So yes, I would love to speak another language, but unfortunately not.
Well, you speak at least two that
Yes.
we can that you can communicate
Yeah.
in, and you work with the indigenous languages again. That, in your opinion, language. I look at language as an identity. What is language to you?
Yes, absolutely. Languages are identity. Are I really like the concept of mother tongue because I think this is the perfect the perfect way to say this is the mother. It is the origin. It's your identity. Your culture is what you are, what you think, and especially the way that you see the world. Now, now that I have a child that is 3 years old, and now as a mom, I can stop thinking about how I am showing him the world, and how I am showing our culture, our way of life. That will be very, very different, of course, if he were born in another part of the world. So that is language. Language is what we are. We cannot separate what we are from our identity or our language. So yes, that is why I'm very passionate about. I know I find here in Indigenous the way of close these gaps between people, the indigenous people, and the I don't know the world, you know.
Thank you very much for bringing community into our conversation, because I wanted to ask you, in your opinion, what is community today to you? What community means to you?
Well, communities are how to say lazos.
ties.
Yes, ties between people. This the most meaningful things in humanity. You know, uh, I have this opportunity to work with communities, and that communities that maybe are a bit away from big cities, and I can see how different they can see the world, how different how close they feel between every member of the community. And this is something that I can see every time I work with a new community, with a new indigenous language. I see that it's very similar in general because I don't like to talk in general about indigenous communities, because every community has their particular things. But I think that is a similarity across communities across Americas, at least.
So you're saying that with the indigenous communities, there is one common thing that you're seeing through is how close the members of the communities are.
Yes.
In your opinion, if there is something that we can learn from indigenous communities and bring it to our modern, I wouldn't say even modern, to our communities, what that would be?
I think that well, one thing, of course, this sense of community, this sense of respectful for each other, and of course, this sense of respect of the Mother Earth. I think that yes, absolutely, the world needs to know more about this way to see the world. You know. We need to be aware that every action have a reaction, you know.
Right.
I think that in our occidental world, I think that we are not that aware of that. The respect for the earth, for our world, this sense of community. Yes, the way of life in general, about the peace of life, the rhythm of the life. Absolutely, yes. I would like to. Yes, it would be wonderful if we can adopt some of that typical things. Yeah.
Yeah, I love how you said the rhythm of the life, because that beautiful expression that you used. And I know that there are a lot of conversations that happening today in our language industry. Both of us belong to the same industry, and you just traveled to New York to UNESCO meeting about the protection of the indigenous languages. In your opinion, how important it is today, and what is the challenges that indigenous communities are going through when it comes to protecting the language?
Well, a lot. We were in Paris, in fact, in the UNESCO headquarters in Paris.
Yes. I keep thinking that it was in New York because they just...
Yes.
The last one.
Yes, it was very, very interesting to find so many people that we are preocupados, you know, worried.
Right,
Yes,
yeah.
sorry, about this thing. We are in the Indigenous and the decade of the indigenous language declared by UNESCO. This started in 2022 and to finish in 2032. The first thing that indigenous communities and indigenous languages are facing is that according to UNESCO, one indigenous language is dying every 2 weeks. And that is why, because the pressure of the bigger languages as English, Spanish, French, the languages that are these these languages pressure on the minority language. So parents don't teach indigenous languages to their kids. So that is why, and the oldest people unfortunately die. So that is why the languages are dying. And as we said before, when a language dies, it's not only a language, it is a big vision of war. Mm-hmm. It's a way of vision, it's a culture, it's maybe a solution for our nowadays problems. So, well, of course, this is the main problem that indigenous languages are facing. And another problem is, well, indigenous communities in the people who live in communities and then migrate to cities, to bigger cities, are facing bullying or these kind of problems because they need to adapt to the culture. And well, and the other problem is the gap that we are now facing with the IA. Now, well, the most important languages now are in this technology. And well, in UNESCO, we were discussing how to help indigenous communities and languages to be prepared and to be, if they want to be, because this is another thing. If they want to be digitalized, to be promoted, or if they want to preserve their culture as they are. Fortunately, yes, there were a lot of people from universities, companies, specialists, linguists. We are all worried and facing this and helping indigenous communities to solve this problem. So I have a very positive vision about the future of the indigenous languages. I think that the world now is more aware than before of the problem that indigenous communities are facing. Yes.
So AI is one of the solutions that we can use, and that was one of the topics that was discussed at the UNESCO in Paris.
Yes,
this year.
In fact, the conference was Language Technologies for All. Mm-hmm. So yes, the AI was one of the main topics. I really think that AI and technology can help indigenous communities. I think that is a way, because if languages that are not in internet are unfortunately condemned to die. So, thank you. We have seen this on the pandemic. Access to internet is so important to communities, or to all of that. Mm-hmm. In internet, there are jobs, information, visions, stories. The people who can access to this information, well, it's more difficult to access new jobs or different jobs or different opportunities. So yes, I think yes, technology is helping, can help a lot. Yes.
From what you are seeing with the leaders of the indigenous communities, how open they are to integrate AI into the preservation of their languages.
Well, I think there is a big gap between the younger and the older people in the communities. And it's as I said before, it's difficult to talk about communities across the world.
Mm-hmm.
I really see a difference between, for example, communities in the north of America, Canada and USA, and in the south of America, because it have to be with the resources that community has. For example, in South America or in countries with less resources, it's very difficult to communities to empower and to develop technology that can help. So they are. I see how they are grateful for NGOs or companies that help them to digitalize their language. It's very different in other countries that have the resources and the communities have the resources to develop that technology. And I feel very admired because they want to do it on their own. They don't want the help of biggest companies. In general, of course, I am talking in general, the help of big techs to digitalize. So yes, it's very interesting, but it's very difficult to talk in general. Every community has their own thoughts about this. I found that in a community, I found that some people don't like, but other people, especially youngers, are very excited about this.
So that's very interesting to me. I didn't know all the latest dynamics about it. So you are saying that some of the indigenous communities want to find their own way to develop AI tools to preserve their language, as opposed to go to the big tech, and use those companies.
Yes.
Why do you think of that?
Well, I see how some communities are developing incredible technology. Especially in US and Canada, is what I see in Paris, in the UNESCO. Some communities are developing some robots that speak indigenous languages. Sorry. Yes, I know that they have these possibilities because they live in a country.
Because I'm assuming that's probably going to be also additional way for the community to make money, because they can launch their probably AI translation services.
Yes.
I would think this way, because if they're going to outsource it to Google or Microsoft, they will lose that revenue probably.
Yes, of course. The communities are developing this kind of technology, and yes, that something that I want to mention is another gap or difficult that face indigenous communities in the South America is that technology, internet, is almost in English, so it's very very difficult that you haven't you have got the resources, but also you don't have the language to access that information. Something that fortunately has the communities that live in the north of America. It's very, very difficult to me, for example, that I run this LSP, to find people from the indigenous communities that talk that can speak Spanish, a native language, and English. So 3 languages. It's a lot. So that is why I think that fortunately, indigenous communities in the north can afford to think of that. Indigenous communities in the south, I think that is very difficult to them to even think of develop this kind of technology.
Interesting. And what languages do you work with?
Well, I started in 2020 with two, Aymara and Quechua, and now we are offering almost 50 indigenous language from across America. Yes.
So you specialize in indigenous languages.
Yes. Yes, you may know. Only in America we have almost 100 of indigenous languages, especially in Bolivia, Guatemala, Mexico, even United States, Canada. I am working with, especially with these countries. I would love to to offer the 1800, but well, I'm working on it.
That is a big number, even 50, 60. If you work only with indigenous languages, that is very impressive number to me.
Yes.
And do you guys do translation, or you do interpretation, or you do both?
The translation is our main request. I mean, I work as a LSP. We work as request.
Mm-hmm.
The main job is translation. We have been done some interpretations, but it's rare. Well, yes, the most language, the languages that we work on are from Guatemala. Yes, Guatemala, Mexico.
And who are your clients?
At this time, my clients are other agencies.
Okay, yeah. And I'm curious, do you work, well, probably you work with everybody because you have this incredible resources. Yes. I'm curious, those are mostly US based or European based companies that need the services today?
Well, I think it's half and half.
Half and half.
Maybe United States more, yes.
And in your opinion, is the need increasing?
Well, it's a good question because I saw an increase on the last 3 years, but now this year so we are in the first 3 or 4 months. I may see some this
decline.
Yes, decline or something like meseta.
Stale?
Yes.
And how would you explain it? I'm curious because I would think that the increase would be going up because in general there is such an interest for indigenous languages, and also there is interruption, like we started using so much AI for the dominant languages, right? And if there is a shift for the dominant languages towards AI, then of course there is a need for indigenous languages to use services such as your company.
Yes.
But now I'm curious to see how the dynamic is changing. Now that we also have AI integrated into indigenous languages, or do you think maybe it's related to economy? What do you think is happening?
Mm-hmm. Well, as I said, it's difficult to say because we are in the 4 months of this year. It may change. I don't know. I think that in our industry, we are seeing how the industry is changing because of the AI, but also it's hard to talk about this because I think that maybe because of how the world is changing, how the new administration of these countries, of these American countries, are changing the rules also.
Right.
I think that is why when one of the world is changing so fast So I think that companies maybe and governments are a bit quiet now, seeing how the world is now taking new places. Yes, so I really hope, because language is a right, language access is right. Immigrants in the United States have big problems.
Right.
There are many immigrants in the United States that don't speak English. We have been working in translating very important information that I don't know if I can tell, but it's about human rights, about women rights. So I really expect that it will continue. I hope that will continue, because I see how it's important that those immigrants can access to information about health, about woman and human rights. Yes, I'm a bit worried about that.
Yes, I'm right there with you, and there are a lot of people like you and
Yes.
me who are very concerned about because language is information, and every community should have access to information, because for any community to prosper, the first thing that community needs is information.
Yes.
And again, just came from US. According to our constitution, we do not have a state language, so it's quite big of a surprise that came to us in the past few months. But I am curious how your work is affecting indigenous communities, because I know you probably providing jobs and creating jobs for indigenous communities. Can you talk about this?
Yes. My job is about get closer, communities and the information, and also give fair job for the community, fair job and a good quality of job. That is connect with something that I said before about the rhythm of life. When I work with I have a client that have a request. We have to translate these 1,800 of words for tomorrow. It's something that okay. We are talking about these communities. In general, translator have others full-time jobs. So they are teachers, they are linguists, they are. So we have to. This is something important to say also, because it's about not to impose our rhythm to communities. It's about respect. It's about know that we are in a community with. We are different, or we are. It's about be aware of the diversity of culture.
Yes.
And this is something very, very important. If we say that we are open and we like cultural and diversity, well, we have to change a bit our mind and be respectful of that. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just so glad that you brought it here, because you are doing incredible work, because first you are serving the community, you are celebrating the diversity, and you are providing I would just say that not imposing your rules, yet creating work for the communities that you serve. That's what we need today from the leaders, that bring positive impact, which is you. And then you also find time to go to Paris, to UNESCO, and talk about the importance of preserving indigenous languages and communities. I couldn't be more grateful for the work that you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Then you came to our podcast today on Friday night in Buenos Aires.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I really found here all my passions, so I'm very, very grateful of this industry also, because it gives me this opportunity to help people to know new people, to know culture, to know languages. I'm very happy.
I think that, again, I'm talking to you right now and just kind of like really dear to my heart, because, again, you're one of the leaders that I admire, that you started the business and you're thinking about beyond money, beyond profit, because you're thinking about the communities that you're serving, you're thinking about positive impact that you can bring. And again, just like you just said right now, without bringing your rules into those communities that you work with, because that's happens so often when we really like concentrate on the profit, or we start creating our own systems and structures, and you think that's how everything should work around us, because that's the only way how we can create positive impact, which is, in your case, you're very respectful of the indigenous cultures.
Thank you.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
If there is something that you would like our listeners to get from this conversation when it comes to the importance of, again, indigenous languages, cultures, respect to those communities, what your message is going to be to our listeners?
Yes, I think that we can go back to that message about the rhythm, about real respectful, about not to impose, to be open, to listen, to real listening. And that something that I want to mention also is indigenous communities are alive, and I think that are more vibrant than ever, or for the last 100 years. This is, I think that in general is something that people think that, for example, in Argentina, not many people know that we have at least 30 lives indigenous languages. So I think that people believe that indigenous languages is something from the past, and no, they are very alive, and indigenous people has this blend of cultural between their native culture and this Occidental culture. So yes, I would like to invite everyone to see the cultural diversity that is around us.
Well, thank you again. Thank you for this incredible conversation, and I hope everybody is inspired as I am, because again, we will celebrate the diversity, we will celebrate the difference that we have. And what I learned from today's conversation about, among many things, is 2 languages. You said 2 the indigenous languages die in what time frame?
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. And
yes.
And when also what I liked about what you said, that when indigenous language dies, it's not just the language dies, and the way how the world is perceived.
Yes, exactly.
And again, going back to the fact that we want to celebrate diversity, we want to celebrate the difference in how we see the world. So again, thank you for this reminder to us, and thank you for being a part of Connected Conversations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, your team. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in into Connected Conversation. We truly value your feedback and would love to hear from you. Please let us know what story you would like to hear next. Share your thoughts in the comment section. Let's keep the conversation going. and let's continue to inspire each other. Let's stay in touch. Thank you.